front of a warming fire with an heirloom clock biding our time, Jim and Kate Nicholson shared with me stories of their Lismacue life over the last 4 decades. As we sat surrounded by antique tapestries, hand-woven rugs, Waterford crystal chandeliers, and centuries-old artwork, Jim and Kate laid out their struggles to save their family estate, including the auction of heirloom furnishings and artwork needed to pay off the remains of $1 million tax debt. They also detailed Lismacue's elegant design that has sheltered their family for more than 200 years. It was an evening that felt like Downton Abbey come to life and made modern.
One day auction, yeah. Here.
Did you stay in the house?
We did. I was in a small tent outside making sandwiches and making as much out of that as I could.
Making money. You were selling it.
Yeah.
And what were you doing, sir?
I was guiding people around and encouraging bidding.
You get one day, you do what you can.
What is the one piece of furniture that went that day that you would like to have back?
I would think the bookcase in the library.
Why?
Because it was made for the room.
What kind of wood?
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Big, heavy, break front bookcase.
Do you remember what it sold for?
It sold for $5,000, I think.
Was that a good price?
It was a good price, yeah.
How big was it? Was it huge?
It was...
Because this house is huge.
What was it? It was about 12 feet high. It was about 18 feet wide.
How many books did it hold?
A lot.
I would imagine.
You'd have been reading there all week.
Or life.
Exactly.
Kate, can you think of one piece that you would like to have back? Or is it not like that? Like, did you really just let it go?
I had to let it go.
Did you raise enough money to pay your debt?
We cleared the bank.
We cleared it.
Did you have any left over?
Very little.
So how does that feel? Is it devastating or is it good? You're relieved?
There's a sense of relief that you've got through it and you've achieved what you set out to achieve.
You've now moved on to another chapter in your life.
Have you ever seen any of the pieces anywhere in town? In anyone's home? Was it anyone local?
I've seen one piece in Ashford Castle.
In a castle?
Yeah.
It was a big ginger jar that used to sit on the staircase on that big window. It was quite distinctive.
Did it hurt your feelings?
I'd love to have got it back.
Did you ever make him an offer?
No, I didn't. I wasn't in a position to.
Okay, all right. Before we move on, let's talk a little bit about this house, because you've just described a piece of furniture that was custom made for this house at 12 feet tall. We've talked about the overall 11,000 square feet, but tell us about the rooms. How high are the ceilings on the first floor?
Yeah, they're at least 15 feet.
And a room is about?
30 by 20-ish.
And every room has a fireplace?
Yes.
And are they all operational?
On the ground floor, yes.
Yeah.
There were fireplaces in all the rooms in the basement as well, and all the bedrooms. But most of those are no longer in use. Because it became too all-consuming? Fire hazard as well.
Yeah, we ran out of firemen. You see, in the old days, there would have been one man in charge of fires. His job was to light fires all around the house.
And keep them going all day.
Keep them going, clear out the grates, bring in the wood, bring in the coal.
How many fireplaces would that have been at the time?
Between the wing and the house, I think I was told 26 at one point.
No wonder it was a full-time job.
Yeah.
But also, the chimneys are not straight in houses like this. They wind their way up through the walls. And so it was a way of heating the internal walls as well. So in the evening you closed the shutters, that kept the heat in, and the houses were reasonably warm, because it was like a old-fashioned version of central heating.
How do you heat this house now? Oil. Yeah. And radiators.
Correct.
And radiators.
So you strip out the downstairs, basically. How do you refurnish it?
I had great fun over the years going to various auctions and buying bits of furniture. Initially, most of them needed a bit of TLC and a bit of refurbishment. And so those tables had to be polished, sofas had to be recovered, things like that.
And who did that work?
Kate.
Did a lot of it.
Did you really? And you've gone back to your law practice, Jim, correct?
Well, I went back. I just took 2 years out.
Okay.
And then I returned to
So you're practicing the law, and Kate, you're taking care of your 3 children. Were you still running the breeding business here all this time?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
How many studs?
We had 3 stallions at one point, and then we got out of that side of it and we just had broodmares.
That in and of itself, between being a mother and being the manager of this breeding operation.
We had a mixed farm. We grew tillage for about 3-4 years.
Tillage being hay.
Tillage being grain.
Kate drove the combine.
Combine
Harvested
delivered
grain to the co-op.
whatever.
You're a tough lady.
On her tractor.
Seriously?
10-mile ride to the co-op.
Turn my hand to whatever was
20
necessary.
tons of grain in the back.
By the tractor?
Yeah.
Because you love it here so much.
Yeah. I was never afraid of turning my hand to whatever had to be done.
But don't you ever get exhausted, woman?
You can't.
I suppose you get a bit of
there's
an
no
adrenaline.
There's no time. There's no time for exhaustion here.
You would come home from work. Where's your law office?
In Dublin,
Which is how far from here? How
100 miles.
You would go by train.
every day? 100-mile train ride every day?
Yeah.
Round trip?
200 miles, 100 there, 100 back.
How long did it take?
Well, it's about 2 hours door to door.
One way.
Correct.
So you were traveling 4 hours and working 8?
Working 6.
You're 10 hours gone a day.
Correct.
Your children are in school?
Yes, I'd put them on the bus to the Deanery School in Cashel.
And then you'd work. You'd work the farm.
I'd
Correct.
get on with whatever I had to do.
And you come home and are the kids still up?
They're still up. When
They're
I
still
get
up.
back.
And dinner
Just-
hot and ready and waiting, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm glad, because really, how many ways can one woman go?
Yeah.
Did you bring home pizza?
There weren't any pizzas in those days, Christine, you understand. We never analysed it as difficult. We just got on. It's the job. It had to be done. Who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, we had the children mowing the lawns until they went to boarding school. Then
And discovered other children didn't mow lawns.
and once, I mean, the one thing, we never had time or money to have a family holiday
No.
in the 80s. And they were at school and they were asked to write an essay on a family holiday. And they had to say,
never
excuse
had
me,
one."
what is a family holiday?
Did you feel like you were depriving them?
No.
It was that we'd never all gone away together. I'd gone with maybe 2 of them, and then I'd go with a different pair.
We couldn't.
Whatever. We couldn't always.
We couldn't
go
both be
away
missing
together.
at the same time.
Because of
This was
the
it.
responsibilities on the
Yes.
farm in
Correct.
Lismacue.
Yeah. There was the house and there was the farm, and we couldn't both be away at the same time. So